Welcome to this next video, and perhaps you notice that the screen looks a little bit different than it normally does. This is version 13. I'm actually in the process of migrating my servers across to 13. Why am I doing it? Long story short, a few weeks ago I installed a version 13 server, and I've been looking at version 13, comparing it, putting my version 12 database on here and comparing it, and so on. So I'm going through a testing phase. Just a word, if you do a install, the installation is broken. I don't know, maybe they fixed it. Well, they haven't fixed it by the past weekend. I normally do the manual install, so there's a difference, of course. So just check out. I'm sure the script install has been fixed, but there's a prerequisite that that's been upgraded, and that sometimes has an effect where some components doesn't want to install properly. When I did the install a few weeks ago, it took me much longer than general because of this. But there is a fix for it, so just watch out for it. It's nothing that can't be overcome. But anyway, long story short is I've got this version 13 server, and it actually looks very nice. What is nice about 13 is, and I'm not going to go into everything about version 13. I actually want to just do the production plan cycle again. I've already done it, but I thought, well, let's do it in version 13. There are one or two very small changes, nothing earth-shattering. Then I can just perhaps highlight that to you. But I thought, let me just spend half a minute or a minute just to show you this. What is nice is on my home page, you can put in your own shortcuts. And you also can put filters in to highlight, there's open production plan, there's unpaid invoices, purchase invoices, that is. So I've got some purchasing stuff, some accounting stuff in one row, and these two rows are production stuff, and then this is sales stuff. I must still update this tick here with the filters, so it's still work in progress, but you get the picture. And you can create whatever you want here. Also on the manufacturing module, in fact on any other module, you can create your own shortcuts. Generally there's a graph in here. I take it out because it's on the dashboard, but you might find it works for you. Either way, you can really customize it. It's really nice. I think let's get going with the production plan that I'd like to show you. First up, a little bit of a sketch. This is one of the multi-level items that I've got. Okay, this is only the feet module. Now, of course, that attaches to the leg module, and that attaches to the arm module, and so on. I didn't want to make it too complicated, so I just took it a level down from the product range, product BOM, just to show you. So you've got there's 3 feet unit that makes up the feet, and then there's a bit of protection, which is just a bit of heat shrinking that you cut, and then of course there's a screw. This is a purchase item, somebody else makes that, and these are 3D print items. So there's a bit of a multi-layer thing here. Just a comment, you'll see that on the cutting side I cut off 7 centimeters. Now I've done it like this. Generally I do a separate production run, there's more than one way to do this. You can buy a whole bunch of rolls of these and put one production run in, cut everything, and put 100 or 200 of these cut units in your store. Or you can cut it every time you do a run for the unit that requires that. In this case, it's heat shrinking. It takes you half a minute to take it out of the store holder, cut it and put it back. It takes longer to drive the job card that gets created by ERPNext than it is to actually cut. So in this case, it's not practical to cut off one piece. But I thought, let me put it in like this just to put some variety. There's a 3D print cycle there. So just, one needs to be practical about this. When do you cut it, and do you put it in your main BOM, or is it a separate production run? In general, I don't do manufacture to order production runs. I make the sub-assemblies up and they go into a sub-assembly store. And then, of course, the main product, you just take the sub-assembly and make the unit. So there's various ways of doing this. But in this case, I'm just going to do it like this, just to show. Let's look at the BOM. All right, first up, no, hang on. I've already created those don't require BOMs because those are store items. That's a store item, no BOM. But there's these BOMs. So 30,012, that's feet number 2, 30,013, that's feet 3, and 50,001, that's protection. So those BOMs exist. All right, so let's have a look at that. Click on BOMs, and we said 30,012. You can actually say 30,012. There's the one, 30,013. Hang on. Yeah, 12, and then 13, and then 50,001. All right, there's 3 of them, just playing around with a few things. So I'll use 50,001-3 and then -1 of all the others. All right, so those have been created. So 30,013, for instance. I'm not going to bring up all of these, but we manufacture 1. The unit of measure is 1. Our operations is 3D printing. And then, of course, we need filament to print this. We need 1 gram. Now, the time has been given up as 25 minutes, and it's 1 gram. Now, of course, the workstations have been set up. It's fictitious costing amounts, just to get some costing up there. Where do I find out that it's 25 minutes and it's 1 gram? That's in the 3D slicer. The 3D slicer software tells you how long it's going to print. I add 1 or 2 minutes, and then, of course, it says how many grams it's going to print. This is actually 0.9 gram, but I add 0.1 gram just for spillage. So that's where these figures come in. And the same for 30,012. Perhaps I can show you 50,001. Let's type in the search. There's 50,001-3. All right, so we going to cut off 7 centimeters. This is the way I've defined it. There's more than one way to define the BOM if you're going to cut a piece. And this is how I've done it. I'm going to cut off. I need 7 centimeters. And it's a cutting operation. And I actually supply 1 meter of this tubing. That's actually incorrect. It's 1 meter. Let's just fix that. So I actually supply the entire roll, but I cut off 7 centimeters. All right. Now, as I said, there's more than one way to set up this BOM. You can have 1 centimeter and various ways of doing that. I'm not going to go into that. So those are the 2 operations, the 3D print and then the cutting. So let's put up let me just get rid of that filter. Now we're going to create a BOM. I've already got one, but let's do it as part of the video. So we say we want to make the feet module. So we click on that. We want to make 1. The unit of measure is 1. Which operations do we have? We add that, and that'll be, there's an assembly operation for assembly of arm, assembly of feet. There we go. The workstation is pre-set up as the module assembly workstation. And then, of course, the operation time, let's put that at 10 minutes. Okay. And then, of course, the material I require is, that will be 30,012. That's feet 2. All right. And then 30,013. And then 50,001. And then 30,005. That's feet 1. So we've got feet 1, 2, 3. The protection, and now just screws, which is 10,003. Not that one, not this one. SKU. Well, actually, if you want to have a better search, SKU 10,003, that's the cap screw. And then SKU 10,006, that's the nut. Cool. So those are the materials I require for this BOM. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's 6. Assembly of feet. Everything looks fine. So we save that and we submit it. All right, so that's BOM number 4, and it is made default. All right, so we've got our BOM. All right, everything is set up there. Now, just before I do a production run on this, we can, if we go to the manufacturing, then we can say, okay, well, do a BOM stock report, and we say 05006, and that'll be BOM number 4, and we want to check in stores, what's the stock situation. Those are available, the cap screw, the nut, and the feet 1. There's 200, 108, whatever. And of course, these are printing units, so there's nothing in the store. And then this protection unit, there's nothing in the store. Right, so it's a nice feature to just have a look at. But this was in 12 as well, so it's not a new one, to check what is your stock situation. All right, let's do a material request. So we say add material request. It's a manufacturing request required by, let's say on the 8th. Now, I've already made a nice video. You can now fill in the item here, or you can even type it in on the scan barcode. But if you just click on there, then you can actually, scan the code that you're producing to fill in the table. I've made a little video to show how that's done. So you scan the code, and it auto-fills the sheet. All right. I'm going to type it in here, though, 05006, and we want now that's the item we want to produce. We want to produce one of this. think there's not much to check here. No, that's fine. That's just a material request. The material request is rather... Oh, and by the way, this goes into the module store. It doesn't go into finished products. That's where I keep my sub-assemblies, manufacture, required date. Yeah, so there's our material request. All right, now, of course, you can create a work order from here. There's many ways to do this. But in this case, I'm going to do a production run. Need to go back. So we're going to create a production plan. There's another one open. That's how I've been playing around. So we add a production plan. And we say get items from the material request. Now these are the filters that you can filter out the material request. You know, if you've got a lot of material requests, you can say, it's the material request that was generated between this date and those dates, and which item codes, etc. Now, of course, I've only got one or two, so it's rather simple. I don't have to fill in all the fields. I'm just saying filter all the material requests for this. Then we say get material request. I think there'll be 2. Obviously, it's 7 because it's the one created on the 7th. So we don't take that one, we only take that one. Excuse the frog in the throat there. Right, so then we say get the finished goods. Obviously it's 05006, which is the the feet module. There's not much to check here. I always just double check if there's something that I need to fill in on the edit buttons. So let's get the finished goods. Now we get the sub-assembly items, and you'll notice it only fetches the sub-assembly items. The other items, it's these ones. Those are purchase items, all right? So it's only the 30,012, 30,013, and then the 50,001. All right, so anything to fill in here, target warehouse modules. Oh no, this is target warehouse stores, because it's going back into the stores. The actual unit that we are printing, that goes into the stores. Okay, and that goes into the stores. And that goes into the stores. Now you can have a different warehouse, obviously, if you want to. So when this is made, it's checked back into the stores, and then of course the actual manufacturing process fetches everything from the stores. Now you can have another warehouse, but then you've got to specify that those items are fetched from that warehouse. Okay. Now this is, of course, just your material request planning to check, if you need anything to order, but we've already checked that there's enough stuff in the stores, so we don't have to do this. This is just your material handling part. So in this case, we're not going to pay any attention to that. Just checking if I've got everything right. Yep, that looks fine. And we submit that. All right. And now, of course, we say create a work order. And that creates work orders 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so our production plan is not started yet. It'll start once we start working on the work orders. So we go manufacturing. There's our work orders. Actually, you know what? Manufacturing. If we go back to our production plan, this one, we can just say work orders, and then of course it'll automatically filter just those ones. All right, so let's start. Well, let's start with that. So there's the status as draft. We're going to manufacture that. that's the name. We're not using a multi-level BOM for this because it's just that item. The store's source warehouse is, of course, where it gets its material from, is in stores, but the target is also stores. So the role that I'm using is one item, and the resulting item that I get out, I'm battling with my words here, is a separately defined item. So you've got a role and an item. So it depends on how you set it up. We need heat shrink. And I'm not going to fiddle it. You can check the times and make it, sequence and all that type of stuff. It's cutting operation. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. Just want to double check where's the required items. Yeah, that looks fine. So our work order is created. We submit this. All right, and there it's created a job card. All right, so it's job card 15. Let me just make a note here. And then, of course, we say start. I've set up the system to do a stock entry based on work order. So once you start the work order, it does the stock entry, and there you can see it takes it from the stores to work in progress. It only takes a small quantity. All right, so that's the way I've configured it, which is fine. Yep, we submit that. Now this actually takes it from stores to work in progress because this is now a cutting operation. All right. So where are we now? This is the material transfer. Right. Now if we go back to our manufacturing, we go back to our work order. There's the work orders. That work order is now in process. So if you click on there and we go to our job card and we click on there, it says this is now a job card. It's cutting operation. Which employee is going to do this? It'll auto-fill it when you say the job card. Now one thing I noticed here is this gets auto-filled with a value. It seems to come from the BOM. So I just delete that. So just watch out for that. The version 12, I didn't pick it up on version 12 that it does that. So if we say start job, it asks you which employee. There's only one employee. And we say submit. And then of course it starts timing. You see it puts that in again as well. It seems to come from the BOM as a suggestion of how long this should take. Anyway, I'm not going to make this too long, 30 seconds or something. So we say, let's make it 30 seconds, nice little round figure. Okay, we say complete. We've done one. Now this is the actual entry, so I just take that out. And we save that. And we submit that. All right, so there's the job card finished. The work order, that's in process. You can see the operation is finished, so we could just say finished. Now it's going to make the stock entry from work in progress to stores. All right, so that's correct. That's how I've set it up, and it's from work in progress. Now just notice that's the 0.07, that's 7 centimeters, but it puts one, there's a 1 there, it puts 1 unit back. And this is the one thing about with this thing, you've got to be very careful with your unit of measures. Look at it very carefully. Right, so that's fine. That's my stock entry. And we submit that. Good. Right, let's have a look at my production plan. Work orders. There's one complete. All right, so let me do one of the 3D printing. Maybe I'll pause the video at some stage. I don't want this video to take too long. Anyway, so let's do the 3D printing. There's the BOM item from source warehouse. And it's going back to the stores warehouse. We require filament. All right, that's 1 gram. We can set the time whenever it's going to happen. The operations, that's 3D printing of a part. All right. There's the costs. That's based on the workstation costing as you define it. That looks fine, so we say save, and we submit. And now, of course, it creates job card number 16. And we say start. It does the stock entry from the stores to work in progress. That'll be 1 gram of filament. So that's the stock entry. And we submit this. Right. Okay, the stock entry has been done. So if we go back to our production plan, our work order, that's now in process. All right, nothing's finished yet. We click on our job card. That's 3D printing, it's open. Right, let's just double check this, 3D printing of part. It's going to fill in the employee name just now there. All right, so just before we start this, just want to show you a picture of the setup. There's my 3D printing setup. This is a Raspberry Pi setup with as a ERPNext terminal. There's the remote camera I'll show you just now. This is what I'm going to show you just now is a video clip. I can't leap up and down and do it live. I just thought I'd add this interesting sake. Just a bit of a close-up. This was actually taken the picture was taken while the printing was running. And that's why you see the printing head right down on the plate. There's the network connection that links to the power over Ethernet adapter, which is just behind this cover. There's the Raspberry Pi, that's the remote control. I'll show you that to you just now. And there's, of course, the 3D printer. So, yeah, you can make a nice remote control with Raspberry Pi. I'm not going to go into the detail of that now. So, what do we? This is now the job card. We say start the job. All right, which employee is going to do this? Yep. And there it starts the job. All right. Now here's the remote interface to the remote control software that I use for the 3D printer. Headphones on so I can hear. I've already selected or uploaded the file for this particular print, and it's already preheated to 185 and 54 degrees. That should actually be 45 anyway. And we simply just say load that and print, and you'll see now that the temperature of the bed is going to rise to 60 degrees, and then it's going to set the other temperature as well. And while that is setting, we'll come back to that just now. All right, so, and of course the printing timer goes on here. Let me show you the, oh, sorry about the talking over each other there. It's just a little video clip that I'm showing. So it's actually going to start the printing now. Right, it should be about ready to start printing now. Yeah, in fact, there it started. There's the camera that you can see. I actually print at 210 and 70. So you've got full control of your temperature. And there's the print that started. And of course the timer on ERPNext is running as well. Speaking of timers, there's a timer that's been running. So let's just say the print is complete now. So we say complete the job. There we go. And just once again, you see it fills in this expected time. But, you know, it gives you, now it says total time is 27 minutes, which is not accurate. I suspect they want you to actually modify that line and edit it and stuff. I just take that reading. So just make sure about this if you want your accurate times. Save and submit. Right, job card finished. Manufacturing, where's our work order? That's in progress. And we finished that. There we go. All right, let's save that. And we submit it. Right, I think we need to move on a bit. I don't want the video to be too long. That is our production plan. Let's just have a look at our work orders. All right, so that's completed. There's another work order for the printing. I think I'm going to pause the video here and just finish this quickly, and then you guys can join me again with the last one. Right, welcome back. You'll see that I've finished this work order, so let's get on with the actual, let's call it the main work order that actually puts this whole lot together. Let's just have a look here. It's going to take all the items from the stores, target warehouse, the modules. That's where the unit that we are manufacturing will end up in. It's going to take all these items here. All right. I think, let's just save this. And before we submit it, I just want to go in, that's now in draft. I just want to go to the stock. What is my stock? I've learned to navigate very quickly in 12. I must still find my way in 13. Stock ledger, there we go. All right. Let's just have a look here. Oops. Let's move that over a bit. And that as well. All right, so if we look at all the movement here, it's from the stores. What was this? This was heat shrink. It was moved from the stores to the work in progress, and then it was moved. That was also heat shrink. But but that is heat shrink, and there it takes the heat shrink, but it puts back the protection 1. Now heat shrink becomes protection 1. It moves that from work in progress to stores. Now we had the 3D printing. We took the filament from the stores to the work in progress, the work in progress to the stores, which yielded our feet. And then for the next 3D printing, we took the filament from the stores to the work in progress, and once the printing was done, from the work in progress to the stores. All right, so that's the stock movement, if you want to call it that. Let's go back to our manufacturing module. Our work orders. There's our draft work order. So now if we say start, it's going to do all the material transfers. We can go and have a look at that again. Submit. And it creates job card 18. All right, so if we start this whole operation, it's going to do the stock entry. There we go, stock entry. It takes all these items from the stores and all these items from the stores to the work in progress. And you can see 30,000, 12, 30,000, 13, 50,001, 30,005, and 10,003 and 10,006. They all get taken from the stores to the work in progress. Okay, so that's cool. And we say submit. Oops, submit. And it's save. All right, let's just go and have a look at stock again. Always interesting to follow all these things. Let's just do a refresh. You'll notice that the button is now, it looks slightly different. On 12 it said refresh. I also notice a speed difference. I'll check it out, but to me I can definitely see a speed difference. Alright, so here's the entries. Where does it start? There. It takes it from the stores. You can see minus on the stores, and it adds it to the work in progress. I must say this red and the green also makes it a bit easier to catch on the eye as well. A small change, but on 12 it would have been black, and it would say it'll still say -1. There's nothing functionally wrong, but it does make a little bit of a difference. Anyway, so all that is now in work in progress. So right, where are we now? That's stock module. We need to go to manufacturing. Works order. No, we need to go to the, anyway, we need to go to our job card. Click on the job card. And our job card is open. It's going to be the operation assembly of the feed module. So now everything is ready, and we're going to assemble this. All right. And once again, it does this entry, and that time is based on the BOM. I don't know if you remember, I put 10 minutes on the BOM. So I think the idea would be to edit this. So this is different from 12. I'm going to manage it in a certain way. I'm sure you guys will manage it in a different way. Right, let's say start, which employee is going to do it, that one, and we say submit, and the timer starts running. I'll also, while it's running, I think, let me just show you this. This is version 12. This is the one difference that I noticed, and we can go back to, this is production plan. All right, so this was one of the production plans, and if you click on the actual, where it says the item that you must manufacture, remember this was a manufacturer, this was in exactly the same production plan. If you click on there, on the top it said make work order for subassembly items. On 12 you had to select that. On 13, you don't have to select that. It automatically generates all the work orders. All right, so just watch out for that. Let's get back to our assembly. Let's get it nice to 1 minute. Right, we say complete the job. And we submit that. So that's the job card finished. Let's go to all our job cards. There's the, this is the job card for the assembly of the feed module. Let's go to our production plan. All right, so there's our production plan. Work orders. There's still one in process because we need to close that off. We'll see that the job card has actually been completed. So we just say finished, and now it'll do another stock entry. There's the stock entry, and it says from the work in progress to modules. So it takes it from work in progress and all those items, that's the consumables, and it puts into modules warehouse the product. All right, so if we say save, and and we say submit, yep. There we go, it's submitted. Right, let's just double check that everything has been closed off. Yeah, you see there's, now we have to take that filter off because the filter only shows open production plans. There's our production plan. It says completed. If you click on there, it will say the work orders all completed. And of course, if you go into each of these work orders, you'll see that the job cards for those are also complete. Just for complete sake, no pun intended, let's go to stock, and then the stock ledger, and we say refresh. Right, now you can see previously what we saw just now was taking these items from the stores, it gets taken out of the stores, gets put into work in progress. Now it gets taken out of work in progress, and the completed unit gets put into the modules warehouse. Okay, so that is it. And I've shown you those two places where you just need to look out, where it's slightly different than version 12. But there is the production plan in version 13. And that's all I wanted to show to you. Hope you enjoyed that one.